Good morning, all. Let us start the inaugural section. Could you please be seated? All of you, please be seated. Let's start the inaugural section. Good morning, all. I'm Shaji Jacob, the State Executive Committee member and an HSC consultant. Today, 23rd August, warm welcome to the 38th National Convention of Environmental Engineers, organized by the Institution of Engineers India, Kochi Local Center. The IEI, the Institution of Engineers India, this is the largest multidisciplinary professional body in India. Kochi Local Center got the wonderful opportunity to organize this prestigious national convention with the theme, Change Yourself, Not the Nature. We believe the faith in God gives meaning and purpose to human life. Let's start with the inaugural section with the prayer invocation. I request Ms. Tirtha Ram, an young engineer from Carmel College of Engineering and Technology, Alappuzha. Ms. Please come. And please rise. Please be seated. Thank you. I would like to say the light and brightness has always been equated with positivity, and motivation is seen as the harbinger of good. Lighting a lamp that symbolizes the presence of divine energy. May I request the following dignitaries kindly join us for lighting the lamp. His Excellency, Dr. Murali Thumarukudi, the Director of the G20 Initiative on Land, United Nations. Most respected Engineer S. Srigala, the Chairperson, Kerala State Pollution Control Board. Respected Dr. V. Karthikeyan, the Chairman, Environmental Engineering Division Board, IEI, Honorable Chairman, Kochi Local Center, Engineer G. Velayuthan Nair, our dearest Dr. M. Prabhakar, the member of ENGB and the Kochi Local Center and the convener of this national convention, and Dr. G. Madhu, the convener and the technical section and council member, and our Honorable Secretary, Engineer T.C. Prashant. Let us start with a huge round of applause opening this section. So, two dignitaries can join. So two people can join together. Two persons can join together. Thank you very much. Now I invite Professor Dr. Reena Sebastian, the past committee member, Dean, KMEA College of Engineering, is going to invite our dignitaries.
A very warm good morning to one and all present here. My duty is to invite our respected dignitaries onto the dais. I wholeheartedly invite Dr. V. Karthikeyan, Chairman, Environmental Engineering Division Board, onto the dais. I invite Engineer G. Velayuthan Nair, FIE, Chairman, Institution of Engineers, Kochi Local Center, onto the dais. Our respected Chief Guest, Dr. Murli Thumarakudi, Director, G20 Global Land Initiative Coordination Office, UN Convention to Combat Desertification, onto the dais. Welcome. I wholeheartedly invite Engineer S. Srikala Ma'am, Chairperson, Kerala State Pollution Control Board. Our beloved Convention Chairman, Professor Dr. M. Prabhakaran, FIE, Member, Environmental Engineering Division Board, Kochi Local Center Committee and Convener, onto the dais. Dr. G. Madhu, Technical Committee Convener and National Council Member. Sir, please. Engineer T.C. Prashant, Honorary Secretary, IEI Kochi Local Center. Thank you. Now we'll move on to the welcome address by Engineer G. Velayuthan Nair, sir. He is the Chairman of Kochi Local Center, Council Member, Civil Engineering Division Board of IEI, and Member of National Language Promotional Committee. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, everyone. President of this function, Dr. V. Karthikeyan, Chairman, Environmental Engineering Division Board of IEA. Our chief guest, Dr. Murali Tumaragudi, Director G20, Global Land Initiative Coordination Office, UNCCD. Esteemed guest of honor, Engineer S. Srigala, Chairperson, Kerala State Pollution Control Board. Dr. M. Prabhakaran, Convener. Dr. G. Madhu, Chairman, Technical Committee. Engineer T.C. Prasant, Honorary Secretary. Our dignitaries of the dais, Dr. Srihari, Professor, NIT Suratkal. Dr. E.J. James, former Director, CWRDM, and Pro Vice Chancellor of Karunya University. Eminent Environmental Engineers Award recipient, Dr. Arup Kumar Mishra, Engineer S. Loganathan, Young Engineers Award recipients, Dr. Srinivasan Ramaswamy, Mrs. Metha Mili, ENDB members, National Advisory Committee members, Technical Committee members, Chairman IEA Kerala State Center, paper presenters, distinguished invitees, dear delegates, sponsors, press and media friends, and all the participants, ladies and gentlemen. I feel extremely happy to welcome everyone to this much wanted 30th National Convention of Environmental Engineers organized by the Institute of Engineers India, Kochi Local Center under the aegis of Environmental Engineering Division Board of IEA. And it gives me immense pleasure to be standing in front of you all. This is amongst the most esteemed personalities. I extend a warm welcome to the delegates and office bearers. I hope they will enjoy their stay at Kochi and contribute their role through the deliberations at the technical sections, followed with valuable recommendations. Our President, Dr. G. Ranganath, was kind enough to agree to be with us today and to address this inaugural function. But on account of some unavoidable circumstances, he is held up at Kolkata. He will convey his good wishes for the success of the convention through online. The President of the inaugural function, Dr. V. Karthikeyan, Chairman of IEA Environmental Engineers Division Board, was kind enough to accede our request and to preside over the function. On behalf of the organizing committee, I welcome ENDB Chairman V. Karthikeyan to this function. And request him to preside over the function. Dr. Murali Tumaragudi, Director G20 Global Land Initiative Coordination Office, UNCCD, was kind enough to agree to our request to be with us today as chief guest during the function, and also released the technical souvenir volume brought out on this occasion. On behalf of the organizing committee and on behalf of the Institute of Engineers India, I extend a warm welcome to Dr. D. Murali Tumaragudi. It is a privilege of all of us gathered here, such a celebrity among us as our esteemed guest of honor, Dr. S. Srigala, Chairperson, Kerala State Pollution Control Board. I, on behalf of the organizing committee, extend a hearty welcome to Dr. S. Srigala. Today we have with us most prominent environmental engineers who has kind enough to agree to our request to be with us to deliver the mandatory memorial lecture for the national conventions. None other than Dr. Sri Hari, Dr. E.J. James, and Dr. Raman. Dr. Rama is not able to attend this function due to demise of his father. And I, on behalf of the organizing committee, I extend a warm welcome to Dr. Srihari and Dr. E.J. James. We have to honor the three eminent environmental engineers at the National Convention to present Eminent Engineers Award to them. They are Engineer K. G. Govindakutti Nair, Dr. Arup Kumar Mishra, and Dr. S. Loknathan. Mr. Govindakutti Nair is not unable to attend this function due to health issues. On his absence, his son will receive the award. On behalf of the organizing committee, I gladly welcome to Arup Kumar Mishra, Dr. Engineer S. Loknathan, and Narayan Govindakutti to this function. Also, my hearty welcome to selected young engineers, Dr. Srinivasa Ramaswamy and Mrs. Millie. I take this opportunity to extend warm welcome to District Doyens of Environmental Engineering in Kerala, Dr. Laser John, Dr. M.G. Gracious. We are happy that the ENDB council members are with us today to grace the occasion. I extend a warm welcome to ENDB members. I extend a warm welcome to delegates and the council members and special invitees. I hope that they will enjoy their stay at Ernakulam, Kochi, and to contribute the advancement of the environmental problems now facing in our country through the deliberations and the technical sections followed by valuable recommendations. I hope that the delegates will have a comfortable stay and they will enjoy the pleasant climate of this world's own country, Kerala, and Kochi, popularly known as Queen of the Arabian Sea, to contribute the technical sections in a good manner. I also, on behalf of the Institution of Engineers India, the Kochi Local Center, extend a hearty welcome to the press and media friends and one and all present here. Thank you.
Next, we move on to the talk by M.M. Prabhakaran sir about the convention. He is a committee member of IAI Local Center for Environmental Division. He is a consultant for many organizations. He has rich experience in the field of environmental engineering and is an expert in this field. He has published many research papers. He is actively involved in many projects of solid waste management in the country. Over to you, sir, to present us about the convention.
सबको नमस्कार. वणक्कम सर. എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം. Respected ENDB chairman Dr. Karthikeyan, respected chairman of this center Engineer Velayathan Nair, respected chief guest Dr. Murali Tummarugudi, respected chief guest respected guest of honor Engineer S. Srigala, other distinguished guests, respected eminent engineers, doyens, council members, committee members, chairpersons of various centers, former chairpersons, senior members, young engineers, delegates, and my dear friends. Good morning and a very warm welcome to all to the IE 30th National Convention of Environmental Engineers. The natural environment encompasses all living and non-living things. This environment comprises the interaction of all living species, climate, weather, and natural resources, and that affect human survival and economic activity. The environment is constituted by the interacting systems of physical, biological, and cultural elements interrelated in various ways, individually as well as collectively. Various resources all over the world is reducing day by day due to innumerable reasons, and the climate plays a major role in deteriorating the environmental factors. When the mankind is facing acute water scarcity in many major cities in the world, severe flood affects in these cities along with other cities in the world. Overuse, and uncontrolled utilization accelerates the scarcity of essential natural resources. Keeping these points in mind, the 38th National Convention is considered change yourself, not the nature, as the main theme. In the case of Kerala, a beautiful state and blessed with 44 rivers which are rain-fed. Although they are perennial, they become lean in summer. Similarly, a number of environmental problems adversely affect the growth, development, and peaceful life of all. Most of these problems are anthropogenic than natural. When we examine the recent disasters in Delhi and South India, including Wayanad, it is clear that they cannot be attributed solely to natural causes. As environmental engineers, we must not shirk away from our responsibilities, but rather acknowledge the role of human actions in exacerbating these disasters. We must take a proactive approach to mitigate the effects to climate change, protect natural habitats, and promote sustainable development practices to minimize the risk of future disasters. India's environmental policy focuses on air pollution control, promoting cleaner energy sources, implementing vehicle emission norms, and creating awareness about the harmful effects of air pollution apart from the land and water bodies protection. Observing all these fundamental issues, the National Convention will cover topics on various sub-themes closely associated with the contemporary issues in environmental engineering. Researchers, scholars, engineers, policymakers, and other stakeholders were being invited to submit their papers for presentation at the convention. As the best papers were selected and scrutinized by an expert team comprises of Professor Dr. G. Madhu, Professor Dr. Susan Jacob, Dr. Chandravadi, and Dr. Sija Arun. Before this presentation of these selected papers, the memorial lectures, the state of art lecture, invite lectures, and special lectures are arranged. Environmental products and models are exhibited in the stalls through the technical exhibition for information and use of the practicing engineers. Further, we have arranged about 30 papers and various sub-themes will be presented through 6 technical sessions, including parallel sessions arranged in the IE Bhavan for its timely and successful completion as envisaged. The conference will provide the participants ample opportunities for interactions, discussion, and networking with the leaders in the field. The opportunity to contribute your ideas and proposals may be fruitfully utilized to concise the convention outputs. On this solemn occasion, I extend my heartiest felicitation to the eminent engineers and young engineers. We expect our community to outplatform in the lives of our young buds and wish them for their future endeavors. The convention will be an excellent opportunity to showcase innovative ideas, technologies, and strategies that can help prevent and mitigate the impact of environmental problems of the country. Now I am requesting all guests, delegates, and participants to involve and cooperation, including by adhering the time constraints to the 2-day convention to become a fruitful event. Thank you. Thank you to all.
Next, we move on to the presidential address by Dr. V. Karthikeyan. Dr. V. Karthikeyan is the chairman ENDB IEI and chairman of IEI Tamil Nadu State Center. He is the principal of an autonomous institution, engineering institution in Salem. With over 35 years of teaching experience, Dr. Karthikeyan has published many research papers. He has made significant contributions to environmental sustainability and has received numerous awards for his outstanding work in engineering. He has many patents and copyrights in his name, and he holds various key positions in the field of environmental engineering. Over to you, sir.
Very good morning. Respected Chief Guest and respected Guest of Honor, the Chairman, Cochin Local Center, Engineer Velayathan Nair, and Dr. Prabhakaran, Convener, and Dr. Madhu, Council Member, and Mr. Prasant, the Honorary Secretary, and the senior most members assembled here. Let me thank the Cochin Local Center for giving me the opportunity to say something about the President's address. First of all, how we has given this environmental engineering convention to the Cochin local center, it is a small story. At last meeting, the environmental division board members Singalji and Sanjay Jan and Ajay Kumar and Professor S.K. Singh, we are conducting the meeting with the help of Mr. D. Bayas. And we have received 3 proposals, I think one from state center, two from local centers. So there is a unbiased solution we have to get it to select or to interest to conduct the convention, especially for the environmental engineering convention. Then I remember some story that some 30 years, some 40 years back, when Sri Kamarajar was the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, and there is some protocol. One MBBS seat will be allotted for the Chief Minister, he has given to anybody else, those who are applying for the Chief Minister's quota. So they called for applications from the downtrodden people, and they have received more than 100 applications. The senior most officers, maybe in the IAS cadre or the secretary, they are scrutinizing the application, and they could not able to find out the seat, only one seat is available, then medical seat. The more than 100 applications they have received, they could not able to take a decision or finalize to whom the seat will be allotted. There is a big debate is going on for 2 or 3 days. Then they could not able to find the solution. They went to Chief Minister Sri Kamarajar. Sir, there really only one seat is available, but we have more than 100 applications here. Now, how we can allot only one seat out of these 100 applications? Then within some 5 to 10 minutes, the Chief Minister gone through all the applications, and finally he selected one application to the secretary. You can give the seat to this person. Then he was wondering that, so we are searching and we are discussing for about 2 or more days to select one applications out of 100 or 100 or more applications. But within 10 minutes, the Chief Minister selected one applications. How it can be possible that? Then the Chief Minister given the solution that all the applications signed by the parents. Only one application not signed, they has given only the thumb impression. So that man must be given a seat, then only the family will be come up. So that kind of approach we have given to select the environmental convention, that even though the state center from my center, Tamil Nadu State Center, given application for conducting the environmental engineering convention, but being the state center chairman as well as the board chairman of environmental engineers, and one more center, but we find that the theme has given that we cannot change the nature, but we have to change ourselves. So that word intimates us how you are going to conduct this convention in a proper way. So the entire convention, what you are going to organize maybe after 6 months, and today and tomorrow you are going to organize or conduct the convention, that the total principle you are giving through 2 words. So that is why we have sanctioned the electrical convention to the Cochin local center. So that is why today we are also very gratefully and successfully conducting this convention also. So I appreciate, I congratulate the chairman, the convener, the honorary secretary, and all the senior most members and the council members for supporting this convention to be conducted in a great way also. I also thank Engineer Singalji and Sanjay Janji and Ajay Kumarji and Professor S.K. Singh for selecting this convention or given to the convention to the Cochin local center. Thank you very much. And speaking about the environmental or the change, not changing yourself or not the nature. See, everybody knows about how we can protect the environment. But we know the rules and regulations or guidelines given by the government or a protocol given by the government, but we are not following that. So that is a simple reason. See, in our area, maybe I am living in Salem, all the schools, even the students using the chocolate cover, they are not littering into the playground or somewhere else. They are bringing to the home and they are littering the waste only properly in the dustbin. That is a culture they are kind of developing. But when we are developing or when we are coming to the college, when we are coming to the job or doing the business, but we are not following the guidelines. So that is why even though we are knowing the guidelines or we know how to protect the environment, but we are not following or we are not implementing that. But even though we are living in a campus about 50 acres, we are housing about 5 institutions, we are doing a lot of research on that. One of the research we did that the sugarcane waste we are being using to make the products like paver blocks, like soggy blocks, and the patent by me also for producing that kind of blocks. And we are patented and we are manufacturing that. So that kind of action we are taking to protect the environment also. So we can speak lot time about the environment or protection of environment, but other speakers are there. Anyway, once again, I congratulate the eminent engineers awardee and young engineers awardees, and for conducting a very nice way the Cochin Local Center and giving the opportunity also. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best and enjoy the 2-day session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. B. Karthikeyan, the chairman of ENDB. Due to the inevitable circumstances, our national president, our leader of IEI, Dr. G. Ranganath, unfortunately couldn't join this section today. He is having the great affinity towards, specifically for Kochi Local Center, always. Let us move on his video. It conveys his message to all who are gathered here for this national convention. I would say please play the video at the moment. So,
Chief guest of today's program, Dr. Murali T. Guest of honor, Engineer S. Srikala Madam, Chairman of the ENDB, Dr. Karthikeyan and its members of the board, Chairman of the Cochin Local Center, Engineer G. Velayathan Nair G, and Under Secretary Prasant, and all other committee members of Cochin Local Center, convener of this wonderful program, Dr. M.M. Prabhakaran, all the awardees of Eminent Engineers Awardees, Young Engineers Awardees from different parts of the country, voted is 38th National Convention of Environmental Division Board. Good morning to all of you. I am so happy to be with all of you in online because of my preoccupation. I was unable to come physically, but till Velayathan Nair is asking me, I want to send something to him which he want to display on the screen. Thank you, Velayathan Nair ji. Coming to today's program, we as engineers are the architects of the modern world, shaping everything from the building we live in, the technologies that power our lives. Our work has the potential to bring immense progress, but it also carry a weighty responsibility to ensure our actions which will not harm the very environmental that sustain us. This is why the theme, change yourself, not nature, is a just slogan for this convention, but a fundamental principle for our profession. While we have achieved remarkable feat, we have also witnessed the unintended consequences of our actions: climate change, depleted ecosystems, and environmental degradation. These urgent challenges demand a paradigm shift in engineering. We must change ourselves, not the nature means, adopting sustainable practices that prioritize efficiency, conservation, and responsible resources to use. It requires a change in the mindset, embracing a holistic view of engineers that considers the long-term environmental and social impact of our projects. We must become stewards of the earth, ensuring our work contributes to sustainable future. Our institution must set high standards for environmental responsibility, advocating for policies that support green technologies and sustainable infrastructures. Ultimately, engineering is not a technical discipline, but a more one. Our actions have ethical implications, and we must emphasize the greater good, respecting nature, and ensuring a healthy planet for the future generation. Let us embrace the challenges of transforming our approach to engineering. Let us strive for innovation that advances human progress while respecting the natural world. Together, we can build a world that is advanced, equitable, and in harmony with nature. With this small message of mine, let me wish this program is going to be, this convention is going to be useful for all the participants. Outcome of this convention is going to give some big inputs to the concerned agencies who are at it, who are implementing all these things. Thank you all the best for all of you.
Next, we move on to address by the guest of honor, Engineer S. Srikala. Engineer S. Srikala graduated from TKM College of Engineering, Kollam. She did her master's in Government Engineering College, Thrissur, in Environmental Engineering. She's a PhD scholar from Amrita University, and she's a chairperson of Kerala State Pollution Control Board. Over to you, ma'am.
Respected dignitaries, on and off dais, good morning to all. First of all, thanks to the organizers for inviting me to this function. Especially special thanks to Dr. Madhu sir was chairman of our Environment Sentinel Group, which we are following in our regional office Ernakulam for I think 2008 or 2009. So I was also a member of that committee. So we did so many discussions and so many inspections on the environmental aspects. So thank you, sir, for all the support extended to Pollution Control Board. Coming to this convention, today's topic, we are discussing on the environmental issues and status on this. Today we have a topic or a word we are discussing, normally the sustainability and the sustainable development. So actually what does it mean? It's a social goal for the people to coexist in the earth without making any harm to the environment for a long time. So we see the sustainability or the sustainable development. We have three major divisions on it: environmental, social, and economical. It has subdivisions too. So if we consider, for example, for the social sustainability, we have cultural sustainability, we have political sustainability, and even for the sustainability in health aspects too. So that means it's a common factor of all these sectors. That means it is interconnected. It is a correlated one. That means ecological is related to environment, related to health, related to climate change, and it's related to the social status of our nation. That means we have to have a correlation, good correlation and good balance between these sectors. So we engineers, we have great job to do for maintaining these sustainable aspects of all these sectors. So coming to the environmental aspects, we are talking these topics from 1916 onwards. So after the result of that, after 1970, and the Stockholm conventions are there, and countries are formulated their own legislations on the environmental aspects, because these are related to ecology and other sectors I already told you. And in our country also, we have passed the parliament by these three main acts: Water, Air, and Environmental EP Protection Act. So many rules are there laid under of Environment Protection Act. Micro level discussions and procedures are laid down on this topic of this. So many rules are there, like plastic waste, biomedical waste, solid waste, electronic waste management. So there should be a relationship between them. So that leads, so many discussions are there, facilities are there, technologies are there, infrastructures are there. What else? The thing is change our attitude. And we should give the importance to the curriculum of students, and should aware of the students as well for a better nation's procedure. So that leads to the present scenario, present regime of the circular economy system. So we considered it as the waste as a wealth, and so we should have so many things to do, like plastic waste management, solid waste, and electronic waste. I hope that these topics are discussed in this convention, and I wish a very good success to this workshop. Have a nice day. Thank you.
With the permission of the chair, I would like to introduce our chief guest today, Dr. Murali Thumarukudi, the Director of the Coordination Office of the G20 Initiative on Land, United Nations. Initially, he was the Chief Disaster Risk Reduction in UN Environment. Dr. Thumarukudi brings to this position over the 3 decades of progressive senior management experience and technical expertise in land restoration issues. He has most recently served as the acting head of the Disasters and Conflicts Programs at the United Nations Environment Programs, focusing on ecosystem-based disaster reduction and partnership development. An internationally renowned expert in disaster response, he played a key role in addressing the environmental aftermath of many major conflicts and disasters, implementing projects in over 35 countries. Prior to joining the United Nations, Dr. Thumarukudi served as an environmental advisor to Shell Group in Southeast Asia and Middle East. He has a PhD in environmental engineering from Indian Institute of Technology, Canberra. He was also a Behrs Fellow at the University of California, Berkeley. Dr. Thumarukudi is also an award-winning author in Malayalam. I would say he is also a social media influencer. He's a winner of a Kerala Sahitya Academy Award in 2018. With all of you, we proudly invite Dr. Murali Thumarukudi, our chief guest, for this inaugural address. Sir, please.
Good morning to all of you. I must start by thanking Dr. Madhu and Dr. Mr. Engineer Prabhakaran for inviting me to this session. I would not have missed this for anything on this day. Even though I am actually from Kochi, this is the first time I am coming to this building. I did not even know that engineers have a building in Kochi. I had been to the Indian Medical Association for so many times, but this is the first time that I am coming to Institution of Engineers Hall, and I promise that I'll be coming back here. So I want to acknowledge the presence of Engineer Velayathan, Dr. Karthikeyan, Engineer Srikala ma'am, my good friend Dr. Madhu Prabhakaran. I also want to acknowledge the presence of a number of my very good friends here. Arup Kumar Misra, who is currently the chairman of the Assam Pollution Control Board. We used to share a laboratory at IIT Kanpur. Arup, welcome to my city. I want to acknowledge the presence of my dear friend Mohammad Javed, who was also my lab mate at IIT Kanpur when I was doing my PhD, currently a professor at IIT Guwahati. I want to acknowledge the presence of my professor, M.G. Gracious, who actually taught me the environmental engineering in my undergraduate. Dr. Lazar John, who actually directed me to this profession, was supposed to be here. He promised, he was not well. I spoke to him last night. He promised his daughters will be here. I don't know if they have arrived. If they have arrived, I want to acknowledge them. Not. I want to acknowledge the presence of Dr. Vijay Kumar, Cochin University, Professor of Mathematics, Engineer Santosh, who incidentally used to call me waste when I was in IIT Kanpur, because there are many Murlis. So one of the ways to differentiate was to give a, additional name, and I was called waste. Now, life takes such a turn that he ended up being the waste management advisor of the Dubai municipality. Now, I don't call him that name back, but Santosh, welcome. I want to acknowledge Engineer Srijit, who was my professor as well, went on to become the principal of CUSAT, then also FISAT, my dear friend Josie, and my nephew Vinod, who is there as well, the backdrop. So as you can see in Kochi, half of the town is my people. So Arup, I just wanted to show off to you how influential I am in this town. Okay, exactly, I knew Arup was extremely well networked even those days. When I was invited to this session, I was actually very honored, of course, in my town. The 38th convention of the Institution of Environmental Engineers happening. And among the many people they could have invited, they chose to invite me. So I felt very honored. But I told them that I'm actually very uncomfortable with this caption that change yourself and not nature. And I said, this is not what engineers are supposed to be doing. Engineers are supposed to be changing nature. Everything we did was changing nature. Building road was changing nature. Building bridges was changing nature. Building toilet was changing nature. We used to say, address the call of nature. So we used to go into the nature and we built a toilet. Was it changing yourself, changing nature? So I said, I will say this. Environmental engineering is relatively a new profession. I think the name came, Engineer Srikala Madam was saying, in the 1960s. I think this came as a consequence of the broader environmental movement we started in the 1950s. I think the first environmental engineering discipline in India started at IIT Kanpur, probably in the 1970s, consequence into the World Conference on Environment and Development in Stockholm in 1972. Prior to that, we were called the public health engineers, and the National Environmental Engineering Research Institute now used to be called the Central Public Health Engineering Research Institute at some point of time. And public health engineering has been an established profession for many decades, probably over a century. And public health engineers have done marvelous things. I was checking this morning some statistics. We all know that the discovery of penicillin and the antibiotic which followed saved millions of lives. Actually, 200 million lives. Now, how many lives were saved by engineers by introducing chlorination of water? The number is almost identical. Close to 200 million lives were saved just by a public health intervention of chlorinating water. How many lives were saved by creating a simple instrument called toilet? 1 billion lives. 1 billion lives. So we stand on the shoulders of giants, of public health engineers, who, against all odds, created technologies, challenged and changed nature, and made life better for humanity. And that's what engineers are supposed to be. Engineers are supposed to be civilizers. Engineers are not supposed to be philosophers. Engineers are problem solvers. Humanity has a problem, engineers get in and solve it. They don't explain it. It is not the job of engineers to sit down and explain. Now, this state of Kerala, which many of you are from Kerala, most of you are from Kerala, many of you are actually coming to Kerala. Many of you are probably coming to Kerala for the first time. And you will see it absolutely green. It's a very green state. But we often hear that the world is a worse place now than before. That in the past there was pristine environment and not now. But this is not true. If you look at the Kerala's history, till about 1970, the amount of deforestation which was happening is phenomenal. The amount of land which was converted for agriculture was absolutely phenomenal. We used to cultivate 800,000 hectares of wetlands for rice. We dug up the entire backwater in Alapi and created artificial embankments so that we could raise paddy in it. That's not natural. Does humanity had a problem? We did it. But times change. By 1970, we were using wood for almost everything. We were using wood for cooking fuel. We were using green waste as fertilizer. We are using wood to build houses. And the entire state, trees came down. If you drove from Cochin to Kodamangalam at that time, there was hardly a big tree standing. And I have verified it with those people who lived there before 1960s. I remember it in my own time, younger days. Tall trees were cut down to make charcoal, which was then used as fuel, both for ourselves, also for urban people. And I see it now. When I travel to other countries now, I go to Somalia, I go to Haiti. Their pollution is primarily from cooking fuel. But Cochin refinery came, cooking fuel came, cooking fuel habit came. Kerala became a cleaner state, comparatively speaking. The amount of wood needed came down. As Kerala became a richer state, we did not have to farm anymore. So Kerala's agriculture has come down from 800,000 hectares to 200,000 hectares. Many people in Kerala actually want to go back to 800,000 hectares, and I say, why? We actually have better food security now with almost double the people as we had in 1960s. So more people now, less farming, but we have better food security. Our biggest problem now, Kerala has the lowest number of people in extreme poverty, 0.7%. The next lowest is 7%, so 10 times lower than the lowest in India. So the point I'm making is that when engineers act and make progress, that helps nature. That's how we should be helping nature. It's not by going natural. Now there's one area where I feel extremely uncomfortable when I come to Kerala. I'm not going to make this whole speech about Kerala, but I'm just giving Kerala as an example of a few things. And when I talk about Kerala, the problem is not unique to Kerala. This is one about urbanization and our sanitation and waste management. We have over 400 cities with a population above 100,000. 45 cities above a population of 1 million. And hardly any city in India has solved the problem of solid waste. Hardly any city. Which is, I think it's a blot to us as environmental engineers. I think the solid waste management problem was probably solved from an engineering point of view over 100 years back. But still, our cities, almost every city, people say good things about Indore, people say good things about Mysore. I want to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Srihari now that I talk about Mysore. He's currently professor at Suratkal. He's also in the audience. But other than one or two cities, we still have not solved the solid waste problem or the sewage problem. In most cities around the world, when there's a water body in the city, be it Venice, be it Amsterdam, be it even Thailand, when there is a water body in the city, the property price of properties which face the water body go up. And here in Ernakulam and many other cities in India, including Chennai, if you have a house facing the water body, the price actually go down by 30% in Kochi. The next house to a water body, 30% low. If you go to Amsterdam or Venice, it's actually double a view. Here it stings. I think as engineers, we have to collectively think and see why is that. After 50 years of existence as environmental engineers, after 100 years after the problem has been solved globally, why is that we cannot have even one city where solid waste problem has not been solved? We spoke about nature. There is a lot happening in working with nature. It is not leaving nature to do everything, but it's about engineers understanding nature. engineers using nature as a tool of engineering. In China, there's a massive movement called sponge cities. Because world over, climate is changing, which all of us know. And one of the most predicted as well as visible impact of climate change is that the rainfall intensity is increasing, even as the total rainfall remains the same. The rainfall intensity is increasing, and this is what we saw in Wayanad, close to 500 millimeters of rain in 24 hours. So when the rainfall intensity increases, extreme events happen. Huge landslides, huge debris flow, but increasingly urban flash floods. Ernakulam, which literally means the pond of Ernakulam, literally becomes a pond. As soon as an intense rain happens for an hour, this city is landlocked. With an increasing climate change, so not only the rainfall intensity increase, the sea level is rising. And all the ponds in Ernakulam has been filled up. So there is no place for the water to go. And the city is waterlogged and waterlogged. And this problem is not unique to Ernakulam. This problem happens across. It happens in Chennai, it happens in Mumbai, it happens in Delhi. Half of Delhi's development has happened in the floodplains of the Yamuna. The Yamuna itself has been stopped as a river, I think all the way up in Meerut. Everything else is flowing down the Yamuna is sewage, except in the rainy season. And cities in other parts of the world are also suffering from the same problem. And they are using nature as engineering. They are developing the concept of what is called a sponge city. They acknowledge that the rainfall is increasing. They acknowledge that the water has to go somewhere, and there is no place to go, the water will flood up. When the water is flooding up the city, everyone suffers. So how do we create space for water? So making space for water has become a modern tool of engineering. And they're doing many things. They create urban wetland. They create peri-urban wetland. They open up paddy fields. They dig up tunnels. They use dual-use carriageways, where when there's no rain, it's used as a highway, and when there is heavy rain, it's used as a water storage tunnel. They change the pavements so that the tiles are porous and the water can seep down, and so on and so forth. So sponge cities is one way of engineering the nature and solving a problem. I have been recommending in Ernakulam here that unless 1/3 of Ernakulam is dug up, including probably what is currently the Kerala State Road Transport Corporation bus stand, and maybe other places which routinely flood, such as MG Road, such as the area where High Court is now sitting and so on. Unless you dig up that place and create huge space for water, Ernakulam will not be a livable city in the next 50 years. And this is going to be, and this is predicted, it's not just predicted by me. This has been predicted by a number of modelers, including the National Institute of Oceanography. The Climate Central in Washington has modeled across the world, and you can actually go and check out. There are other places where you engineer nature. In Switzerland, where I lived for 20 years, the Alps had tremendous number of landslide and debris flow. But not only, they also had snow, so therefore they had snow avalanches. And 150 years before, they learned that if you were to continue to build the way they built, people will die, and people have been dying. So they created a law which said that between the snow line and where people live, there has to be a forest. And they called it the protection forest. And the protection forest maintenance was the responsibility of the state, regardless of whose the land belonged to. So even if your land belonged to a private person, the forest itself was managed by the forest department. And now, hardly anybody die out of avalanche, comparatively speaking. Of course, people still die. But if it was hundreds or thousands in the 1800s, now it's ones and twos. In Japan, which has a huge history of tsunami, they also have protection forests all along the coastline. All along the coastline. They have created coastal belts of trees. And in fact, Japan has a tradition that the last point where tsunami came, they will put a stone. And that's called the tsunami stone. And that's a warning to the new generation that this point, a tsunami had come. And therefore, if you build between that point and the sea, your house would be damaged by a tsunami at a future date, because tsunami return date could be over 1,000 years at times. In fact, the last tsunami in 2011, where 24,000 people from Japan died, the single largest number of casualty in Japan after the Second World War. It happened in a place where the forefathers actually had warned. 5 kilometers from the coastline, they had built what they call a tsunami shrine. And the tsunami shrine was meant to warn the people that there was a tsunami. But people did not believe that a tsunami could come 5 kilometers inland. So they built. 1,000 years later, the tsunami came back and wiped out 24,000 people. And now they are going back to the protection forest. There are many other examples of playing with nature. Recreating beaches to prevent soil erosion instead of building coastal seawalls, which is almost a sure way to fail. I think when we build coastal seawalls, as state, we are giving false assurance to the people behind the seawall, saying that this place is now safe for habitation. So the government invests 500 crore to build a seawall, and the private property people invest 5,000 crore, hoping that for next generation that place is safe, and the place is not going to be safe. Climate change will wipe out those seawalls. So they will not only wipe out the 500 crore, it also wipe out the 5,000 crores of private investment people have made. So we have to understand nature, and we have to work with nature. Now, I was looking at your agenda, and you are going to talk about the future of environmental engineering. And I wanted to make a couple of suggestions. One area which is already currently an absolutely massive area of engineering is in cleanup of contaminated land. This is a $170 billion industry globally, $170 billion. And it gives employment to hundreds of thousands of engineers, most of them environmental engineers, because it involves every element of environmental engineering: solid waste, liquid waste, air pollution, analysis, mechanical engineering, cleanup, recovery of fuel and oil. Yet, in India, we are still very primitive in this particular location. The last project which I had opportunity to lead was in Nigeria. There's an oil field called Ogoni land. The pollution from an oil field caused an entire community to rise up. And of course, there's a military regime at that time. And there was violence. The industry had to close their operations and leave. 10 years later, we were called to investigate, which we did. It took about 50 crore rupees to do the investigation alone. 115 oil wells, many pipelines crisscrossing the area. Every oil well is a potentially contaminated site. There's a mud pit, there's a production water outlet somewhere. Every gathering station is a potentially contaminated area. Each of them had to be investigated. We had over 1,000 sites which had to be potentially contaminated, narrowed down to seriously contaminated. We had to do 5,000 groundwater wells. And with that analysis, which cost over 50 crore, we came to conclusion that it will cost $1 billion to clean up that contaminated site. And that project is now ongoing. And there was another project which I was involved. This is cleaning up of Kuwait after the 1991 Gulf War. Some of you may recall that there were over 800 oil wells on fire up to a year. The fire went on. The fire had to be extinguished. The land was contaminated. And a UN compensation commission was established. And the commission asked them to prove how much contamination happened. The assessment alone took $120 million. And it took 10 years only to do the assessment. And the cleanup would cost about 2.5 billion hectares, which is currently happening. So what I'm saying is that contaminated land cleanup is an area which is not emerging, it has emerged. $170 billion industry now, predicted to grow at 8.2% every year. And I was looking at the statistics. The earliest standard on contaminated land came from Holland. The Dutch standards are very famous for this. Holland has an area very similar to that of Kerala, 40,000 square kilometers. Holland has 250,000 contaminated sites, an area of 40,000 square kilometers. And Holland, if you actually go and see, it's a very clean, beautiful place. There alone, there is 250,000 contaminated sites. England, which has an area of 250,000 square kilometers, have 350,000 square kilometers, 350,000 contaminated sites in the United Kingdom. India has an area of 3.2 million square kilometers, more than 10 times that of the UK, and more than 25 times, or more than 80 times that of Netherlands. How many contaminated sites are in India, you think? How many contaminated sites? The CPCB assessment is 240 contaminated sites. In India, out of 400 cities above 100,000 population, there are 3,000 landfills. Every landfill is a potentially contaminated site. Cleanup of one landfill alone, if done properly, to the environmental standards, modern environmental standard, would cost tens of millions of dollars. 3,000 of them exist. 250 million tons of waste is still existing in our landfills, and we are still filling them. We are even still creating them. And yet, with 3,000 landfill, we still have only 240 contaminated site, probable contaminated site. We have 65,000 petrol stations in India, 65,000. Every petrol station is something which you should potentially investigate. Because historically, they did not have the double skin walls and so on and so forth. So there's always a chance, or the pollution in the forecourt and so on. The point I'm making is that there's a huge area of environmental engineering which has actually emerged, but which we are not tapping. Our youngsters, our engineers, our colleges should start to teach this. And we should put pressure to actually identify where are our contaminated areas. There must be 1 million contaminated sites in India if we investigate properly. If you put ourselves to our own standards, which was established in 2015, the guideline, I don't know if it's the standard yet, you will see 1 million contaminated sites. And imagine the type of activity which will happen. And suddenly environmental engineering will really rise to the potential which it always had. I just want to conclude by talking about the work which we are doing. I now have the task of restoring 1 billion hectares of degraded land. And land could be degraded by deforestation, by contamination, by reduction of carbon, by reduced productivity, but 1 billion hectares, which is the equivalent of China. And if you want to restore that, you are going to need $1.5 trillion. And that's a lot of money, $1.5 trillion. And that will need hundreds of thousands of engineers and scientists. And that's the type of manpower we want, human resource we have to create. So $1.5 trillion economy, hundreds of thousands of potential jobs, and entirely working with nature. The Paris climate commitments, which we think will take us to a 2-degree trajectory, alone can be solved, 35% of that can be solved by nature-based solutions. But we are not yet teaching our engineers, our young environmental engineers, enough about nature. We are still worried about standards and code of practices. We have been talking about nature-based solutions for a while. And there are examples, but all examples are of minuscule scale. A small mangrove forest here, a small wetland there. Your civil engineers or environmental engineers are afraid at this point of time to undertake massive projects, which will need to fill the 1 billion hectares of restoration at scale, because there's no code of practice. But we as engineers should always remember that it is not code of practice which came first. Code of practice came second. Practice came first. I was reading the story of Eugene Fresnel, who invented pre-stressed concrete in the 1920s. All engineering wisdom at that point of time thought it's a ridiculous idea. Maybe it works in theory, but never in practice. There was no code of practice. Yet, he took the bold step, built the bridge. And now, almost every bridge in the world which is built of concrete is built pre-stressed. The time has now come to be bold, to work with nature, nature-based solutions. We have the resources, we have the commitment. G20 countries between themselves cover 85% of global GDP, 80% of global trade. They have committed to achieve 1 billion hectares of restoration. Engineering solutions are needed. Engineers have to rise up. I encourage you to have these elements also into your discussion. I once again thank you all for inviting me to this session. I wish wonderful deliberations, and I encourage all of you who are from outside the state to come and enjoy our beautiful city. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We move on to the most awaited presentation of II Awards. I wholeheartedly invite Dr. G. Madhu for the same. Dr. G. Madhu, after 18 years in the industry, moved on to become Senior Professor and Head Division of Chemical Engineering and Safety and Fire Engineering, School of Engineering, Cochin University of Science and Technology. He later on became the Principal, School of Engineering, Cochin University of Science and Technology. Sir is at present Adjunct Professor, School of Environmental Studies in Cochin University of Science and Technology. Sir is an expert in the field of environmental engineering, process safety engineering, bioprocess engineering, and environmental impact assessment. Sir is a technical committee convener of this national convention and a national council member. Over to you, sir.
Good morning to all of you. It's time to honor 3 outstanding engineering personalities for their significant contributions to the field of environmental engineering. This time we are honoring 3 eminent engineering personalities. One is engineer K.G. Govindan Kutti Nair. Then we have Dr. Arup Kumar Mishra and engineer S. Loganathan. First, I will give a brief profile of engineer K.G. Govindan Kutti Nair. He is from the city of Cochin. He is a graduate in civil engineering. He started his career with the Kerala State Electricity Board. And in the year 1966, he joined the erstwhile Public Health Engineering Department of the Government of Kerala. He obtained his master's degree, ME Public Health, from the All India Institute of Hygiene and Public Health, popularly known as AIIHPH, Calcutta, in 1971. Incidentally, AIIHPH was the first institution in the country to introduce a master's program in public health engineering. Engineer Govindan Kutty Nair had a long career span of 32 years with the Public Health Engineering Department and its successor, Kerala Water Authority, and rose to the position of member technical and managing director. He was involved in various functions such as investigation, planning, design, appraisal, execution, commissioning, operation, and maintenance of numerous large, medium, and small-scale water supply schemes in the state of Kerala. He has served in several committees constituted by the state and central governments and the Bureau of Indian Standards. He served as senior technical advisor in Kerala State Industrial Infrastructure Development Corporation, KINFRA, for the water supply and wastewater disposal projects for long 20 years after retirement. In recognition to his valuable contribution in the field of environmental engineering, the Institution of Engineers India feels honored to felicitate Engineer K.G. Govindan Kutty Nair as an eminent engineering personality on this auspicious occasion of the 38th National Convention of Environmental Engineers held during the 38th National Convention of Environmental Engineers held during August 23rd and 24th at Kochi. Engineer K.G. Govindan Kutty Nair, he has not been able to arrive here to receive the honor as he is indisposed. His son, Mr. Nandu Govindan Kutty, will receive the honor from the esteemed chief guest. May I request the chief guest, Dr. Murali, to present the plaque, citation, and shawl to Mr. Nandu Govindan Kutty, son of engineer K.G. Govindan Kutty Nair. Thank you, Dr. Murali. Next is, so please be seated. Please be seated. Next is Dr. Arup Kumar Misra. He is, as mentioned earlier, he is the chairman of the Pollution Control Board, Assam, since September 2021. Prior to that, he was director of Assam Science and Technology and Environment Council and Assam Energy Development Agency for more than 5 years. A graduate in chemical engineering, he started his career in 1986 as lecturer in Assam Engineering College, his alma mater. He obtained his MTech and PhD degrees from IIT Kanpur. His areas of interest include environmental engineering, sustainable development, and green engineering. Dr. Mishra has published more than 50 papers in prestigious journals and proceedings, besides over 200 popular science and technology articles. He has presented papers in many peer-reviewed international conferences and has been part of Indian delegations to UK, USA, New Zealand, Malaysia, and Germany. Dr. Arup Kumar Mishra is associated with the Institution of Engineers India since 1987 and has served the Assam State Center as honorary secretary and chairman and transformed the state center into a vibrant one. As council member of IEI during 2014-16, in fact, we were together in the council during that period, he served the Environmental Engineering Division Board. Pioneer in the field of popular science, he played a major role in creating awareness among the masses in unexplored areas of ecology, environmental protection and conservation, pollution control, land degradation, climate change, and sustainable development goals through print and visual media. In recognition to his valuable contribution in the field of environmental engineering, the Institution of Engineers India feels honored to felicitate Dr. Arup Kumar Mishra as an eminent engineering personality on this auspicious occasion of the 38th National Convention of Environmental Engineers. I request Professor Mishra to receive the award from the chief guest, and I request the chief guest to present the plaque, citation, and shawl to Dr. Arup Kumar Mishra. Thank you, sir. Now we have engineer S. Loganathan. Engineer S. Loganathan is currently head structural and environmental division, Center for Civil Testing and Consultancy, Tyagarajar Polytechnic College, Salem. A graduate in civil engineering and postgraduate in structural engineering, Engineer Loganathan has made significant contributions to environmental sustainability and infrastructure development during his career spanning 36 years in teaching and industry. Engineer Loganathan has led numerous projects that promote eco-friendly practices and sustainable development. Among his notable projects are the implementation of rainwater harvesting systems and establishment of wastewater treatment plants, which ensure safe recycling of treated wastewater for irrigation and landscaping. He has also designed high-rise water tanks, sustainable urban drainage systems, and vermicomposting projects. Engineer Loganathan contributed to environmental sustainability initiatives and for creating green spaces in and around the campus, which enabled Tyagarajar Polytechnic College, Salem in winning the prestigious Green Campus Award of AICTE. He has filed several patents related to eco-friendly construction materials and construction practices. Engineer Loganathan has served as the honorary secretary of IEI Salem Local Center during 2018 to 2021. Presently, he is a member of the Tamil Nadu State Center Committee. In recognition of recognition of his valuable contribution in the field of environmental engineering, the Institution of Engineers India feels honored to felicitate Engineer S. Loganathan as an eminent engineering personality on this auspicious occasion of the 38th National Convention of Environmental Engineers. Engineer S. Loganathan, please, may I request the chief guest to present the award. Thank you very much. Now we are moving on to the presentation of Young Engineer Awards. The Institution of Engineers India felicitates young engineers from different disciplines during the national conventions. So we have today with us two young engineers receiving the award. One is Dr. Srinivasan Ramaswamy, and the second is Mrs. Medha Milli. First, I will give a brief profile of Dr. Srinivasan. Dr. Srinivasan Ramaswamy is assistant professor in the Center for Sustainable Technologies, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, since 2020. He is an environmental chemical engineer with specialization in water and wastewater treatment. His experience cuts across numerous disciplines in the water and wastewater domain. He obtained his Doctor of Engineering degree from Hamburg University of Technology, Germany, for his dissertation titled High Rate Nitrification of Membrane Filtrated Saline Landfill Leachate using Fixed Bed Biofilm Reactors. Before that, in the year 2014, he obtained his Master's in Environmental Engineering from the same university, and he graduated in Chemical Engineering from the prestigious National Institute of Technology, Tiruchirappalli. As part of his doctoral research, Dr. Srinivasan investigated different methods, including nanofiltration, reverse osmosis, electrocoagulation, ozonation, struvite precipitation, air stripping, and nitrification for sustainable and holistic treatment of an old saline landfill leachate. In the Indian Institute of Science, he established and now is leading the SUSPANI lab at Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. The Institution of Engineers India is pleased to present the Young Engineers Award to Dr. Srinivasan Ramaswamy in recognition of his contributions in the field of environmental engineering. Dr. Srinivasan, please come over to the dais, and may I request Dr. Murali to present the honor. Thank you. Next is Mrs. Medha Milli. She is a senior scientist with CSIR Advanced Materials and Process Research Institute, AMPRI, CSIR AMPRI, Bhopal, and also assistant professor at the Academy of Scientific and Innovative Research at CSIR AMPRI, Bhopal. She is basically a chemical engineer. She obtained her BE degree in chemical engineering from Assam Engineering College. In fact, our Dr. Arup is a professor of, yeah, she was telling me yesterday, you were her professor. Then she obtained her Master of Technology degree with specialization in polymer science and technology from Tezpur University, Assam. She joined CSIR AMPRI as a scientist in October 2018. And within this short span, she has been part of many completed projects and contributed towards publication of research papers in reputed journals, book chapters, and patents. Her major research interests involve development of natural fiber-based advanced polymeric composites and its characterization, polymer processing, lignocellulosic biomass-based composites, and utilization of agro-industrial waste for hybrid composites development. The Institution of Engineers India is pleased to present the Young Engineer Award to Ms. Medha Mili in recognition of her contributions in the field of environmental engineering. Ms. Medha, please, may I request her to receive the award from. Yeah. So we have a unique combination of the teacher and student here. Now it's time to felicitate two doyens of environmental engineering, education and research in the state of Kerala. We have two eminent engineers available here. Both are in fact teachers of Dr. Murali. One is Professor Dr. U. Lasar John. Anyway, he has not been able to arrive here today because of his ill health. Mrs. Gudia is here, no? Oh, please. I will give a brief profile of Lasar John sir first. Dr. U. Lasar John is a distinguished civil and environmental engineer with an illustrious career spanning over 5 decades. He graduated in civil engineering from Government Engineering College, Thrissur in the year 1963 and obtained his MA degree in environmental engineering from the prestigious VJTI Mumbai and PhD in environmental engineering from IIT Kanpur. He developed a flocculating algal bacterial system for the treatment of wastewater as part of his doctoral research. His professional journey includes significant roles as head of the Department of Civil Engineering at MA College of Engineering, Kodamangalam. Then he was faculty member at Maiduguri University, Nigeria, principal of LBS Engineering College, Kasaragod, and director of the Center for Environmental Studies at Vellore Institute of Technology, Vellore. He is a fellow of the Institution of Engineers India and the Indian Waterworks Association. He has been a member of several expert committees for projects like Silent Valley and provided services to the state and central pollution control boards. He carried out EIA studies for many major projects, including the Cochin International Airport and the BSCS power project. Dr. John's dedication and contributions to engineering education and environmental sustainability has been commendable. In recognition of his outstanding contribution to environmental engineering education and research, the Institution of Engineers India Kochi Local Center is proud to honor Professor Dr. U. Lasarjon on the occasion of the 38th National Convention of Environmental Engineers. In fact, as I mentioned earlier, Professor Lasarjon has not been able to arrive here as due to his ill health. Here, his daughter, Mrs. Gudia, is here. May I request Mrs. Gudia to receive the honor from Dr. Murali Tumarukudi. Thank you. We are honoring one more eminent environmental engineer from the state of Kerala. Is none other than Professor Dr. M.G. Gracious, an eminent he's an eminent civil and environmental engineer with MTech and PhD degrees in environmental engineering from IIT Kanpur. He had a teaching career spanning more than 33 years at MA College of Engineering, Kodamangalam, where he was head of the Department of Civil Engineering during 2004-2007. He served as principal of Vishwa Jyoti College of Engineering Technology and the Holy King's College of Engineering and Technology after his retirement from MA College of Engineering. He has attended and organized several training programs and workshops on advanced water and wastewater treatment technologies, including UASB reactor technology. He designed numerous wastewater treatment plants for residential projects, hospitals, and industries across the state of Kerala, a major one being the design of sewage treatment system for Shabarimala Sannidhanam for Travancore Devasam Board. He was actively involved in the performance evaluation of the 36 MLD UASB plant treating tannery wastewater at Jajmau, Kanpur at the instance of Ganga Project Directorate. He was also involved in the development and design of a modified upflow anaerobic sludge blanket reactor for domestic wastewater management, resulting in 40% reduction in construction and maintenance cost. In recognition of the outstanding contributions made by Professor Dr. M.G. Gracious in the field of environmental engineering education and research, IEI is proud to honor him on the occasion of the 38th National Convention of Environmental Engineers. Sir, please, and request again Dr. Murali, his student, to present the honor to him. Thank you very much, sir. That brings us to the close of the award presentation ceremony. Thank you very much. Now, over to the Master of Ceremony.
Thank you, Madhu sir. Now we have a very important event, releasing the technical volume of the 38th National Convention. I request our chief guest, Dr. Murali Thumarangudi, to release this technical volume and is hand over to a copy to the chairman, ENDB, Dr. Vijay V. Karthikeyan. Sir, please.
We move on to the presentation of mementos. I request ENDB Chairman Dr. V. Karthikeyan sir to give memento and shawl to Honorable Chief Guest of the Day, Dr. Murali Thumarangudi. I request our beloved Chairman of Kochi Local Center IAI, Engineer G. Velayathan Nair sir, to give memento and shawl to the guest of honor, Engineer S. Srikalaman. I request our General Convener of this National Convention, Dr. M. Prabhakaran sir, to give memento and shawl to ENDB Chairman, Dr. V. Karthikeyan.
Thank you very much. Now it is the time of expressing gratitude to all the dignitaries, guests, and the delegates. Engineer T.C. Prashant, the young dynamic engineer, he is our honorary secretary, that is the Cochin Local Center. He's an engineer in BPCL Kochi Refinery. He has been actively involved in all IEA activities in Kerala. I invite him for a vote of thanks.
Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Murali Thumarangudi sir, Guest of Honor, Engineer S. Srikala Madam, Chairman, Environmental Engineering Division Board, Dr. V. Karthikeyan sir, Chairman, IEA Kochi Local Center, Engineer Velayathan Nair sir, Convener, Dr. M. Prabhakaran sir, Chairman, Technical Committee, Dr. G. Madhu sir, respected National Council members, members of IEA, dear delegates, invited speakers, paper presenters, committee members, esteemed awardees, and friends. As we conclude the inaugural section of the 30th National Convention of Environmental Engineers here in Kochi, it is my privilege as a Honorary Secretary of Institution of Engineers India, Kochi Local Center, to extend our heartfelt vote of thanks. First and foremost, I would express our deep appreciation to our chief guest, Dr. Murali Tumaragudi, sir, Director of G20 Global Land Initiative Coordination Office at UN Convention to Combat Desertification. Your enlightening address has provided us with profound insights into global environmental challenges. Your presence has significantly elevated the importance of this convention. Your dedication to environmental protection is commendable, and we look forward to continuing work together towards a more sustainable future. Thank you, sir. Special thanks to Dr. V. Karthikeyan, sir, Chairman of Environmental Engineering Division Board. Thank you for your presidential address, which has effectively set the tone for this convention. We deeply appreciate the time and effort you have invested in sharing your expertise with us. Thank you, sir. I would also like to extend my sincere thanks to our respected guest of honor, Engineer S. Srikala Madam, Chairperson of Kerala State Pollution Control Board. Your thoughtful remarks on critical role of pollution control have laid strong foundation for the discussions. Thank you for sharing your valuable time and knowledge with us. Thank you, Madam. A special note of gratitude goes to Dr. Ranganath, President of Institution of Engineers India, for your inspiring words through online and steadfast support. Your leadership continues to guide and motivate our community. My heartfelt thanks to Engineer G. Velayathan Nair, sir, Chairman of IEA Kochi Local Center, for your warm welcome and for facilitating such an excellent arrangements. Your leadership has been pivotal in success of this convention. Thank you, sir. I also wish to acknowledge Dr. M.M. Prabhakaran, sir, the convener of this national convention, for your dedication and effort in organizing this event. Your clear vision of the convention and its objective has provided us with a roadmap for discussions ahead. Thank you, sir. Special thanks to Dr. G. Madhu, sir, Chairman Technical Committee, for his valuable advice, guidance, and dedication throughout this convention for fulfilling our targets. Thank you, sir. I would like to extend our deepest gratitude to our esteemed sponsors, CMFRI, Kerala State Pollution Control Board, Cochin Shipyard, Indian Oil Corporation Limited, Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited, Petronet LNG Limited, and Sudkami, and their generous support has been crucial in making this convention possible. To our invited speakers and paper presenters, your contributions are eagerly anticipated, and I am confident that your insights will be greatly enrich the discussions and technical sections that follows. I would like to take this opportunity to extend my warmest congratulations to the recipients of Eminent Engineers Award and the Young Engineers Award. Your outstanding contributions to the field of environmental engineering are truly deserving of this recognition. To all delegates, National Council members, and committee members, your active participation and enthusiasm will make this convention truly successful. I encourage you to engage fully in the sections and discussion over the next 2 days. We also express our thanks to the faculty and students of various institutions for their active participation. I would like to take a moment to extend our sincere gratitude to the members of press and media for coverage and reporting. It is my privilege to extend our deepest gratitude to our exceptional anchors for skillful moderation. And sincere thanks to our staff, Hari, Grigesh, and caretaker Prashant. As we move forward into technical sections, I hope that the energy and insights shared during the inaugural session will continue to inspire productive dialogue and meaningful outcomes. And finally, I extend our heartfelt thanks to everyone who has contributed to making this event grand success. Have a nice day. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, our Honorary Secretary. Now it is time for a national anthem. Please, all of you, please rise.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you. Now we have a tea break for 10 minutes. Kindly come back to the hall immediately after the tea break for the N.V. Modak Memorial Lecture by Dr. S. Srihari and Dr. N.S. Raman.